the real thing we have to recognize as we look at what's happening in the real world is that Wall Street is converging onto crypto and they're choosing to do a lot of this work on Ethereum.
Breaking news, Ethereum just hit 3,800 and is going much higher. Make sure you watch today's whole video. Many altcoins are going much higher. Bitcoin dominance is tanking. We told you that this was going to happen. We told you to buy Ethereum here, here, and here. Make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily now so you never miss our daily crypto updates. It is not too late to get into crypto. It is not too late to double down on quality altcoins. Send this video to somebody you care about and tell them, hey bud, this might be your last chance. Because I'm now getting DMs from trading experts telling me Ethereum is about to rip. Monthly chart looks bullish. Weekly chart looks bullish. Market expert, Fundstrats and Bitmine's Tom Lee says Ethereum is going a lot higher over the next several months. 4,000 is the next immediate target for Ethereum, but he believes that ETH will actually hit much higher prices within the next 5 months, quadruple digits in 2025. Understand, when Tom Lee talks, smart money listens.
I think in the near term, our technical strategist Mark Newton thought we could be seeing 4,000 before the end of the month for Ethereum, but that's not where it peaked.
What's your price target for ETH as we head into the second half of the year?
Our price objectives at Fundstrat. So I wear a couple of hats. I'm the chairman of Bitmine, but I'm also the head of research at Fundstrat. And actually I have a third role, which is the CIO of Fundstrat Capital. But at Fundstrat, Sean Farrell is the head of digital assets research. And he's given me some informal sort of targets. One way he thinks of this is that if we look at Circle and its free cash multiple, which now is like 130 times EBITDA, on an equivalent basis, Ethereum's closer to 15,000. And that makes sense. I think the layer one, as you know, as you get into layer one, you should apply a higher multiple to like sort of theoretical usage because it's the same reason software companies get higher multiples than retailers, right? The more you're getting away from the customer and the more it's pure signal, you apply higher multiples to that business. And so I think in the near term, our technical strategist Mark Newton thought we could be seeing 4,000 before the end of the month for Ethereum, but that's not where it peaks. He just thinks that that's the first target. And then I think something, if Sean Farrell's math is correct, then I think 10 to 15,000 actually makes sense too.
By the end of the year?
It could be end of year, it could be sooner. I mean, it just really depends. But that wouldn't be the cap.
I don't think most people follow the market like we follow the market. I don't think most people understand what's happening. Some of the biggest OTC desks on the planet are now reporting that they're completely sold out of Ethereum. Wintermute has no more Ethereum left to sell via their OTC desk. So people who own Ethereum are demanding much higher prices to be convinced to sell maybe via OTC. And so what we're seeing is price rally like never before. And this will probably continue happening in waves over the next several months. Tom Lee is literally educating Wall Street, institutions, smart money, dumb money. People are waking up and realizing Ethereum is going to become extremely relevant over the next decade.
It is really Wall Street converging onto crypto. Well, I think Ethereum, is a chain that I think is getting a second look. I know that there have been criticisms of it in the past because of either how layer twos and layer ones interact or just really sort of progress and upgrades to the network. But to us, I think the real thing we have to recognize as we look at what's happening in the real world is that Wall Street is converging onto crypto and they're choosing to do a lot of this work on Ethereum because stablecoins have completely changed Wall Street's mind about how useful crypto can be. As we've said, the stable coins have created the chat GPT moment for crypto because we're seeing consumers really use it in a viral way. Merchants are beginning to really love it, especially outside the US. And now banks are realizing it's actually a decent business model. We just saw Citigroup even just say that they're looking at creating a stablecoin, even if it's just to manage deposit base, but still, it is really Wall Street converging onto crypto. And at the end of the day, a couple things are going to be important. You know, Wall Street wants to find a chain that's operating compliantly in the US, and they want to find a big one, and where there's already a lot of real world assets, tied up and on the layer one. And that's why Ethereum, we think, is going to become extremely relevant over the next decade.
And it's not just Ethereum, of course, but Ethereum is a proxy for the altcoin market. But many different altcoins are looking bullish at this time and actually have been bullish. What other altcoins are bullish right now that I can include in a future video? Comment what other altcoins you're looking at. One of the biggest catalysts that I'm looking forward to in the short term, I think markets will go up into this. Look forward to the Market Structure Bill Clarity Act being passed by September, October. Understand altcoins that have to do with stablecoins, Ethereum and Solana, they're rallying really hard right now because the Stablecoin Act just got passed. The Market Structure Bill being passed by September will be huge for people buying in to different altcoins. So in just 2-3 months, I expect a big pop going into this. And this timeline is coming straight from the White House. Listen.
Clarity started in the House, and so it has passed the House, and now it's going to the Senate. And they still have to do their hearings and markup on it. And we expect that'll happen over the next couple of months. In fact, the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, Tim Scott, has said that he wants to finish with the market structure legislation by the end of September. So if all goes well, then we could be looking at a second bill signing in, say, October. And like Bo said, that would be pretty much the crypto industry's wish list for having a clear legal framework in the United States for both stablecoins and other crypto tokens. So it's really pretty amazing.
And understand, most people aren't like you and me. Most people are not altcoin daily and are actually bears on Bitcoin and crypto markets today. The fact is, there are so many bears, there are so many short sellers that still exist in cryptocurrency. So many people are betting that Bitcoin and crypto are topping here. But when you actually look into the data, you'll see it's actually dumb money who's shorting the hell out of Bitcoin right now. And the smartest of smart money, they're not just hedging, they're buying. They're buying. Listen to what's happening on Wall Street right now.
The smartest money in the world, commercial hedgers, are the most net long Bitcoin ever.
What does this mean? What's a commercial Bitcoin hedger?
These are the people in the business. So you're looking at the miners,
Okay.
you're looking at people who are companies that are transacting
gotcha.
in Bitcoin that actually have to hedge their positions. These are the corn farmers that are hedging their corn crops, right? The speculators are the dumb money. These are the asset managers, the hedge fund managers. These are the people we want to take the opposite of. So the small speculators, the large speculators, the money that makes the worst decisions, particularly in extreme, is shorting Bitcoin at the highest rate ever.
Why are they doing that?
I have no idea. I asked myself the same
I
question.
just told you why. The gambler's fallacy. What goes up must come down. That's the answer. They don't know anything.
Could they be short? I mean, just as hedging to offset other long positions?
No, the
in there?
hedgers are the ones that do the hedging, and they are long.
Oh, okay.
Not only are they
Got
not
it, got it.
hedging, they're the ones buying. So,
Got
are
right.
you going to bet with the dumb money? Or you're going to bet with the smart money?
I'm with you, bro. Let's go.
So I think we're about to see a big surge for Bitcoin and a huge surge for quality altcoins. Charles Schwab is now reporting that 500,000 price target might happen this year for Bitcoin. 10 million in the far future, but $500,000, $500,000 per Bitcoin. At least according to veteran investor Frank Holmes, he has a reputation to lose, so I'm surprised that he's saying this.
Transition where the digital world will take off like a rocket to Mars.
So we saw Bitcoin hit all-time highs, capping over that 123,000 mark. And we've seen inflows in the past week that have been their highest of the year. Where do you see Bitcoin prices going in the near term and in the long term?
Well, I think short term it's going to $500,000, and the long term it's very conceivable to be at $10 million, because what happens is that one Bitcoin is worth 100 million Satoshis, and they're less than a penny. When when they go and trade at a penny, that means Bitcoin's at $1 million. So when people go to Schwab and go and buy a HODL, a Bitcoin ETF, they're basically buying Satoshis. And for $1,000, they're getting almost 1 million Satoshis. $2,000, they easily have the best penny stock idea in the world because they're buying increments of a penny. And as adoption takes place, and there's a limited scarcity of supply, it will rise. I just saw the Birka bag, the original Birka bag, which cost $2,000, went for $9 million.
I also saw that same exact article. I do want to ask one follow-up, though. You say near term we're going to be at $500,000. What's that timeline?
I think by Christmas, I think that's the potential, is $500,000 by Christmas, because the adoption goes through these exponential moves, goes sideways, and then all of a sudden it gaps up and the adoption process changes. So I remain very positive towards the industry. But
look, guys, prices are going a lot higher. There'll be ebbs and flows, of course, but you need to get your friends into crypto now. Don't have them be getting into crypto in 6 months. Now is the time to send your friends and family your favorite crypto videos saying, hey, tune into this. Because the fact is, they're going to keep printing money over time. They're going to keep kicking the can down the road. This reasoning by Arthur Hayes, he perfectly articulates here why you should be bullish on crypto over the next several years. Listen.
Trump is going to spend more money, have a bigger deficit than Biden. It's just math and the priorities of the administration. And so I can see Bitcoin going up 10x from here to $1 million by 2028. Especially if we get a change in sort of the Fed and they come back on side and they do quantitative easing, they start cutting rates. And, as you said, Powell's term ends in May 2026. Everyone believes that Kevin Warsh will be the next Fed governor, and he's gone on record basically saying the Fed is not independent. The Fed should do whatever the president and the politicians want, which means print the money, give more of it to the system to act as stimulus. And so I see an acceleration of money printing and fiscal debasement in May 26 onwards. And that's probably when we get the sort of crazy runs in Bitcoin and other sort of fixed supply assets.
So millionaires will be made in crypto over the next 3 to 6 months. Now is the time to get serious about staying up to date on everything crypto. We are smart money here at Altcoin Daily. This is why people subscribe. Most people have a very peripheral view of the crypto market. At Altcoin Daily, we really dive in and provide invaluable perspective that you just don't get anywhere else. So guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We got some great interviews coming out for you in the future, some really informative altcoin videos coming out for you in the next few months. So stay tuned, and I'll see you tomorrow.